Hi, you guys. Happy early New Year's. Nice to see you again. It's Richard Sachs. This is Lost Arts Radio, and this is what we call the safe stream version for, especially in honor of YouTube after our re-education of what is acceptable to say. And hopefully we'll be able to keep honoring that for a while. But I have to be very careful in what I talk to you about on this show, because some of the stuff that we talk about on our real show that you're invited to also wouldn't work on this one. So you have to either read between the lines, or I keep it short just to stay in touch with you, and hoping that you'll go to lostartsradio.com and find out about our other platforms where there's no censorship and we can say more of the full show. But I like to give, what would be acceptable and still have some value to the short few minute safe stream version here. So what I thought about today, what I wanted to share with you in light of the fact that New Year's is coming up, we're just doing the show a couple of days early to avoid conflicts that are scheduled for New Year's. So I thought, all right, why don't we look at the subject, what's wrong with New Year's resolutions, and why does everybody just make them every year and then they last for a day or a week or a month and they get forgotten? And I thought about, I'm looking down because I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff that I want to share with you that's more than we have time for, but I'm going to pick out some of the main parts. What it made me think about is this guy Maxwell Maltz. I don't know if you've heard of him. He wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. He's a plastic surgeon. I'm not sure if he was a psychiatrist as well. He might have been. He was a medical doctor, at least a plastic surgeon, and he was operating on people on their face, people who had a bad picture of how they looked in their mind, and he'd have them be real specific about how to change the face and what would look good or beautiful or balanced or whatever it was that they wanted. And he was a really good plastic surgeon, and he would do that for them. And some of them, when he changed the face to what they wanted, their behavior would change completely. And they would walk around feeling relaxed and confident. And they were the same person, but what they saw in the mirror was different, so they acted according to that. Other ones, though, after the surgery was over, they still felt like they were really ugly, and it was such a deep belief that they carried around that you could make their face as beautiful as anything and it wouldn't make any difference. So Maxwell Maltz was studying this phenomenon for a long time on hundreds of cases and that he operated on. And he came up with the idea of the self-image. And he said, what you carry around, and he was just looking at the physical appearance aspect, that what you thought you looked like, you automatically acted according to what you thought that person would be like. And sometimes even if your face changed, as I was just saying. So he came up with this idea of the self-image, and then he realized that without the surgery, without breaking the bones and repositioning the face and all this really invasive stuff that the medical industry is well known for, doing things that are potentially really damaging, even though they have sometimes good effects in the immediate present. He thought, how can we avoid having to, break up and reconfigure people's faces and get them the same benefit, since they were coming to him not for health reasons, but because they thought they looked ugly and they felt really bad about themselves for that reason. Some of the people, by the way, if you saw their pictures, you would think, wow, that person looks like a movie star. They're beautiful. But it doesn't matter. It matters what the person thinks they look like. And so he started working with people on the self-image directly without cutting up and reconfiguring their face. And he got just as good results. And he wrote this book that is pretty interesting. I think it was written in the 60s, 1960s, and it's still available or should be, called Psycho-Cybernetics. Really inspiring book, educational. And so he worked with people on how to change self-image and what that would do to their lives. And it completely revolutionized the person's life when they could change the self-image. And the reason I relate to that to New Year's resolutions is that you're carrying a self-image too, and it's not, what I found is it's not just what your face looks like. It's what you think of yourself. And if you think of yourself as hopeless to break addictions or habits, even things that you know are hurting you, then there's a tendency to make that come true and say, well, say you were addicted to eating 3 pizzas every day or something like that. But you felt subconsciously, and this is a problem, that it is mostly not conscious, but the subconscious is where it's powerful enough to direct your life. And if you feel subconsciously that you're going to eat 3 pizzas for the rest of your life a day, or maybe 10 pizzas a day when you get more advanced, and there's nothing you can do about it, then there's nothing you can do about it, and it doesn't work. And you can make a New Year's resolution to cut down to 2.5 pizzas even, and you're not going to be able to hold it. Not because the physical act of eating only 2.5 pizzas a day is impossible, but because you decided it's impossible. And your subconscious beliefs are really powerful. And in fact, this is a much deeper subject than we have time to talk about, actually, because the subconscious beliefs get into what you project on a frequency basis when you get into the quantum physics level of it. And each one of us, including you, has a much deeper effect on the whole outside world and everybody else in your life than you may imagine. So Maxwell Maltz was just looking at the tip of the iceberg, really. And he wasn't trying to get people to think they look like a movie star and they look better than everybody else, and to look down on people, and, to magnify arrogance and pride. There's that saying, famous saying, from fables and parts of the Bible and other places, that if you fall for pride, thinking that you're better than other people, and getting into arrogance, or just even thinking really in a condemning way of other people, that you're going to get a lesson, that it's not God comes to punish you with this big sword or something, in my opinion. I've never seen him there doing that, and I don't think it happens. But your own consciousness is powerful, and it'll punish you for anything out of alignment with who you really are. And who everybody is something amazing. So it's not really a punishment, it's an education. It's not to make you suffer. It's to make you say, whoa, that wasn't me. Why would I ever do that? And to change. So you don't want to get into arrogance, but feeling good about yourself, just relaxed and saying, yeah, I'm fine. And it doesn't matter if everybody tells me I'm ugly or beautiful or whatever they want to say. I know I'm fine. It's like there was a psychological school in the 1960s or 70s or 80s. I don't remember exactly. And it had the title, I'm okay, you're okay. In other words, stop judging everybody. And you judge all the time, and you need to do that. But I mean, condemning everybody, mostly yourself. And I don't know if you've noticed, but you don't tend to condemn other people until you condemn yourself. So it's just really smarter not to do it. But when you get into the whole issue of New Year's resolutions, if you're carrying the self-image that you can't keep New Year's resolutions, you won't. And you can make it if you want, just for fun, but it won't happen. So it's not getting your will really focused and say, I am going to cut down to 2.5 pizzas no matter what. Even if everybody in the world tries to feed me more pizzas, I'm not going to eat it. That's not going to work. If you realize you're not the helpless, addicted person to whatever negative habit that you've got that's not you. It's a fake mind program. It's imaginary. And it doesn't matter if it's pieces or cocaine or alcohol or cigarettes or whatever you're using in a bad way, and you can't drop it even though you want to. That feeling of that helpless person is a mind program, and it's fake. It's like a bad dream. And if you have a talk with your mind and say, mind, this isn't real. We don't need to project this fake image anymore. And if you mean it, and if you stay with that, your mind can stop projecting it. And then you can do whatever you want. And you can work on yourself, and you don't even need a New Year's resolution. You won't want to eat 3 pizzas a day because you'll realize that's not you. So I guess what I'm getting down to here is if you want to make a change for the new year, if you want to change the world, the secret, seemingly silly little PowerPoint from where you can do that, and it sounds so cliche, and most people would think that's ridiculous, but it's true, is make the change in yourself. It's like Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. You know, many other songs and many other writings. And they weren't kidding. They weren't saying just because, well, it's too frustrating to change the whole world, so try to change yourself because maybe you could do that. That's not the point. There's power in changing yourself. And if you recognize the program that is telling you you can't do that, and that it's your mind that's projecting it, it's not some other outside evil person, it's not, nobody else can project that into you if you don't allow it and you don't go along with it yourself. So if there's something in the outside world, in your outside world, the people that you're dealing with or the situations that you're caught in, stuff like that, that looks beyond your control, this the idea, the belief that it's beyond your control is fake. The outside is literally a reflection of the inside. So when you're looking at what you would have said, what New Year's resolution should I make? What in yourself would you like to be better? Because there's always something there. And then just talk to your mind and say, forget the idea that we can't do this. We're just going to relax and do it. And there's no obstacle. It's like a mantra that some famous athletes have had. There's a swimmer named Matt Biondi. He was in the Olympics. I'm not sure if it was once or more, but he was a really good swimmer and he won gold medals. And finally, the reporters talking to him asked him, how do you win all these races? And Matt Biondi told him his mantra. Because it doesn't matter if you believe in mantras, you believe in them. You're using them every day, every minute. It's just most people don't want to take the trouble to say, what mantra is controlling my life? What are my real beliefs? Not what I memorized that I would tell somebody else about my religion or my belief system or my philosophy, or, I'm a Buddhist or a Christian or an atheist or whatever. No, the real beliefs connected to your deep emotions. Those are mantras, and you're repeating them all the time automatically. Some people become aware of those intentionally, and then they say, I don't really think that's a very good thing to be repeating in my subconscious. What do I want to repeat? And Matt Biondi was one of those people who did it consciously. And he said, okay, my mantra when I'm swimming a race is easy speed. Easy, no effort, speed, just gliding through the water faster than everybody. And it worked. And of course it worked. So what's your mantra? To save the thing about, I don't believe in mantras, that's some silly, Hindu belief in India or something. No, it's your belief. You just don't admit it. So if you're brave, find out what it is and decide if you want to change it. Most people's mantra includes in some form failure, failure, failure. Instead of Matt's mantra, easy speed, they're thinking miserable failure, while they're smiling and saying something else on the surface. It's what you're saying in the back of your mind all the time that has the power over your life. So if you want to make a New Year's resolution, just do that first and see what happens. I just wanted to tell you about that. Let me see if there was anything else we have time for. I guess I was just writing to, instead of making and breaking resolutions, you just start changing into who you are and bringing your whatever mantra you have into alignment with that. And then whatever you decide you want to do with it, it's not other people who have ever blocked us. It really looks like it. I know these other bad people who have done all these bad things, but it's you. And that's not really bad. That's really good. Because even though it looks like other people do all these bad things to us, and we play that role for each other, the behavior of other people changes in your world when you change it inside yourself. Watch, it doesn't sound reasonable by Newtonian physics or what you observe, but try it and see what happens. Let me know what you find. But you can't just try it for a couple minutes. You've got to decide it's worth some focus and perseverance. So it's the best thing I could think of for New Year's, because I want your resolutions to all succeed. And here's the thing that to change to make that happen, whatever you want. So think carefully what you want. And I'm actually really depending on you to do this, because I know you're the key to changing the world. And the world is in a situation that we can't talk about much on this platform, but we don't need to. We know that some things have to get better. And you have this huge power to be the key to that, but it's in the subconscious level. It's not what you go out and talk about, although that can be really useful. It's what you do underneath that, and it comes out in whatever you do physically. So anyway, hope that makes some sense. I really appreciate you and the time that you spend to be here and share this with us. Thank you. I just want you to be in good shape, a good year and good future indefinitely for you and everybody in your life. And you have a huge power to affect all of them without saying a word. So if you're up to it, try the experiment. Let me know what happens. If you want to see the rest of the real show, it's free, but you have to go to platforms that don't censor. So you can find the connection links at lostartsradio.com. And if you want to help us continue our work, because we're not doing commercials in case you haven't noticed, there's a donate button on the website, lostartsradio.com, and a subscribe star link. There's another way to do it. They're both there on the main site. And then if you want to get deeper into any of this stuff, you're welcome to join us for Planetary Healing Club. We do get a little bit of survival money from that because there's small dues for it, but it's worth it. And if you join us and you say it's not worth it, you can quit and I'll give you the money back for the first month. It's not about money. I haven't figured out how to keep this going without money. And we have projects that are on hold because there's no money. So I have to do something, and I don't want to hype products that I might find out, well, I don't like them. So now if I recommend a product to you, it's because I actually think it's good and I had some experience with it. And if I think it's not very good, I'll say that too. And I like that. So anyway, donate to our work if you can. Otherwise, just spread the links. And if you want to join Planetary Healing Club, I think there's probably about 1 out of 1,000 people that would relate to what we're doing there. It's working inside yourself on a deeper level. And we are free in that uncensored environment to talk about health issues, which I've been an independent health scientist seriously working on that since the mid-60s. So we have some stuff to share, but also in consciousness areas and what's going on in the world, everything relevant to our lives. So come over and join us if you feel like it. I'd like to see you there. We're live there every week. Doug's there too. And that's shortly after the Lost Arts Radio Live main show, which itself starts in 6 minutes. All the links to the real full live show are at lostartsradio.com. So happy New Year. Thanks for being here. Got to go get ready for the next show, and I'll see you over there, or I'll see you at the next meeting on this channel. Have a good night and a wonderful New Year. Talk to you soon.